So you were crowned Miss Alabama during not during, but just prior to the outbreak of COVID. And as a result of the pandemic, you were the only Miss Alabama to serve 2 years because 2020 was canceled. How do you feel your reign might have differed from a normal reign because of COVID?
Well, one, that's obvious. The longest serving Miss Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned. But during that time, it was such a trying time. Thankfully, I'd already competed at Miss America. So I was just coming really back home to finish serving out my time as Miss Alabama and to enjoy the last couple of months. But as you mentioned, unfortunately, we got hit with COVID-19, the COVID pandemic. And I turned into virtual Miss Alabama. So I had to learn how to still connect with my community, still be out there to make sure that no one forgot about the Miss Alabama and the Miss America organization. So I became very creative about reaching out to those, but also using that time to really let people know that this is serious and we should not take this lightly, and that we want everyone to be safe during this time until we eventually find vaccines and other things to make us safer again, where we can go out and have those times where we're together again. Thankfully, we're having those times right now. We didn't know at that moment. It was very scary how long this all would be, especially being in lockdown. So I
Mm-hmm.
spent a whole other year really trying to figure out not only how to be Miss Alabama, but it was also time for me to go back to school. Because at the time that I won Miss Alabama, I was getting ready to go into my junior year of college. But because the duties of Miss Alabama take up a lot of time, I took off a year and then I was going to go back. So I was juggling not only being virtual Miss Alabama, as I say, but also being a student as well, which is a little bit different than what we've seen in the past and what we see now.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because I witnessed all of that as your friend on Facebook, seeing your vocability about, I don't even know if that's a word. I don't even know, but just being vocal about safety and masking and vaccinating and all of those things. And those things were so politically charged then and even now. I mean, people had opinions about everything. So I guess the question here is, as somebody with a platform, you have a platform, you have a podium, so to speak, to voice your opinion. How quickly did it take you? I guess that's not the right question. Was there a thought process beforehand of, you know what, I'm going to talk about this regardless of the politics of the situation because I know that people are listening to me because of the platform I have? Was there a strategy for that, or did you just, you know what, I'm jumping into this? This is the right thing to do. What was the thought process for you at the time?
My thought process definitely was that we need someone out there who are telling people the truth about safety and trying to get out there that we want everyone to be safe. And to be safe, you have to follow these protocols. You should follow these protocols. And these aren't silly things. These aren't things to punish us, but to keep us safe. And I did have to really just get to the point before I even started posting and getting that information out there about vaccines and wearing masks and social distancing, that regardless of what anyone may have to say negatively about what I'm saying, that I'm still going to say it because I strongly believe in facts
Mm-hmm.
and science and making sure that we all are safe so we can go back to what some type of normalcy.
Exactly right, and I commend you so much during that time because I saw the blowback you were getting from a deep red state. We're not going to talk politics here, but you were getting some blowback from that because science, in my opinion, and I'm sure you may agree. I don't know. Science is not political. Science is what it is. It's the facts, and science is ever changing as well. So the facts as we know them now may not be the facts as we know them in 2 weeks. And sometimes you just have to go with the flow and do the best that you can with the information you have. And that
Right.
was where you were coming from at the time. But to see so much blowback and how you handled it is kind of why I wanted to ask these questions now. I've been looking forward to this interview for a good 4 years, Tiara. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, this is a long
Yeah.
time coming for me. I've been excited about talking to you for a while. Just a little background. I know you know this is not about you, but We started. Well, I had a podcast that ended around the time that you and I met. And so I had you on my final wish list of that show back then. And so when I stopped, I kept that wish list. And I added to it over the years, even though I was like, you know what, I'm never doing this again. You know what I mean? But then when I started feeling some kind of passion for wanting to do this again, I had that list still, and your name was right there. So I was like, man, I got to get Tiara on here. Just her insight. You're just such an inspiring woman, and I'm excited to talk to you. Um,
Thank
anyway,
you.
no more fangirling.